Elizabeth I was Queen of England. When her sister Mary died, there were many who didn't think that she should become queen. One of which was her deceased sister's husband, Philip II of Spain. Philip was staunchly Catholic and believed, since the Pope never granted an annulment to Henry VIII from his first wife Catherine of Aragon, that Elizabeth was illegitimate. And because she was Protestant, she was also a heretic. Philip in Spain and Elizabeth in England's relationship deteriorated to such an extreme extent that Philip decided he was going to send an armada of ships to invade England. He was going to overthrow Elizabeth, reinstate the Catholic Church, and if all of this was successful, it would then make Spain the undisputed superpower in Western Europe. The Pope even got involved and supported Philip's proposed endeavors, promising that he would renew the excommunication of Elizabeth from the Catholic Church that had been done in 1570, and that if the Armada landed on English soil, he would offer Spain a subsidy. And so, the Spanish Armada set sail from Lisbon in 1588 to execute the task set out to them: invade England. The fleet was massive, with 130 ships carrying around 30,000 soldiers, sailors, and huge amounts of cannon and ammunition. This did not go well for the Spanish, as their ships were large and had a hard time maneuvering, unlike the faster, sleeker English fleet. The English ships also had almost double the firepower of that of the Spanish. Weather also played a huge role, as storms hit the Spanish multiple times. Ultimately, the Spanish were defeated, and their fleet was scattered. They desperately tried to find a route to flee. The decision was made that the best course would be to sail north, go around Scotland, and then around Ireland to finally get them back home to Spain. Violent storms again rocked the ships to and fro. One of these, called the Girona, ended up landing in Killybegs Harbor in Ireland with a damaged rudder and a crew much worse for wear. The Girona was originally a huge galley ship that had been refitted for the war and held enormous amounts of artillery. It used both sails and oars that allowed it to be strong and fast. The oars were maneuvered by slaves that had been taken from Spanish colonies in South America. The ship had 121 sailors, 186 soldiers, and 22 officers. While they were in the harbor, survivors of other shipwrecks from the Armada were washing ashore. There was a great deal of concern, once they were on Irish soil, that there were many English soldiers stationed in Ireland. They needed to get to safety, and the closest place that they thought safety could be found was in Catholic Scotland. The decision was made to take all of the survivors on the Girona and head to Scotland. While the ship had been at harbor, it had been repaired by a local Irish chieftain. 1,300 survivors boarded the ship, a ship that was only ever to support 400. The Girona sailed north, and as they did, a horrible storm began. Gale-force winds rocked the ship and its passengers to and fro. The sailors were trying desperately to keep the ship afloat and on course. In the dead of night, on the 28th of October, 1588, the Girona hit the rocks on what is now called the Spanish Rocks on the Antrim coast and sank. 1,300 people perished, with only 9 surviving. Close to where the Girona crashed was Dunluce Castle. Inside Dunluce Castle lived Sorley Boy MacDonald. The MacDonald clan were the most powerful clan on the Antrim coast, and Sorley Boy was its chief. Sorley Boy had constant conflicts with the clans around him and had his fair share of strife with Elizabeth as well. When the few survivors washed ashore near the castle, Sorley Boy took them in, and he arranged for them to get safe passage to Scotland. 260 other bodies also ended up being found from the shipwreck along the coast, and it was specifically arranged by Sorley Boy that they be given a Catholic burial at the Church of St. Cuthbert's, just near the castle. Sorley Boy was also extremely interested in what salvage might be reclaimed from the ship. He quickly organized salvage missions. It is said that Sorley Boy found cannon from the Girona and promptly mounted the cannon at Dunluce Castle. It is estimated that along with the Girona, 24 other ships sank, carrying around 5,000 men. In 2017, a special service was held at St. Cuthbert's church ruins, and a new plaque was placed in the graveyard commemorating the Girona and the 260 souls that washed ashore.